I don't know what he was doing. It was weird. It was weird to see that type of fighting. But anywho, that's not Jake Paul's fault. So Jake Paul did what he needed to do, and he won, and he looked good.
Jake Paul looked really good. I think he won all the rounds. I mean, it's good for boxing. I think he deserves a chance to fight for a world title.
Jake Paul did get fatigued down the stretch, but he still held on.
The boxing community responded with mixed feelings to Jake Paul's triumph over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Ryan Garcia tweeted. Jake did his thing. Outboxed Chavez Jr. Meanwhile, Shane Mosley commended Jake's performance, saying he moved effectively and delivered a solid fight. However, Mosley also criticized Chavez Jr., describing his behavior as strange and hinting that it might be time for him to retire. Many fans and analysts shared similar views, impressed by Jake's progress yet questioning Julio's commitment and future in boxing after such a disappointing performance.
Jake Paul fought a good fight. You know, he moved around the way he's supposed to, throwing great punches, and for the experience he had, he did fantastic. Junior, on the other hand, he didn't throw any punches until the third or fourth round or something. He was just kind of walking forward, and I don't know what he was doing. It was weird. It was weird to see that type of fighting. But anywho, that's not Jake Paul's fault. So Jake Paul did what he needed to do, and he won, and he looked good.
Where do you think Junior goes from here, in your opinion, Shane?
Junior needs to retire from here.
Junior needs to retire.
He needs to retire. I mean, if you can't throw any punches in 2, 3, 4 rounds, you need to retire. I mean, if you can't, what are you doing? What are we doing? You just living off. Basically, you're living off your father's name. Yeah. That's basically what you do, because you didn't even fight until the last round, maybe last two rounds, and threw some punches, and you had some success when you threw some punches.
Meanwhile, Piers Morgan remarked, "I had a better fight with Jake Paul on Thursday than the unwatchable farce that took place tonight. The guy's lining his pockets with buckets of dollars, but he's killing boxing with this boring, staged bull against older fighters way past their prime." Rayo Valenzuela, respected young fighter in his own right, didn't hold back his praise following Jake Paul's victory over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. In a brief interview, Rayo acknowledged that Jake did his thing and looked impressive. Throughout the fight, what stood out most was Rayo's comment that Jake deserves to be considered among the top 15 to 20 fighters in his division. That's a bold statement coming from someone inside the sport. It shows Jake is no longer being seen as just a YouTuber dabbling in boxing, but as someone who has truly earned a place in the rankings through legitimate performance.
To the fight. Oh, great fight. Julio's back after all he's been through, so, I tip my hat off to him. It's not easy, especially through, what life throws at you sometimes, but, it was a good fight.
What'd you make of how Jake Paul looked and fought?
He doing his thing. Jake Paul's looking good. Shout out to him. Yeah.
Do you think he's ready to fight maybe a top 15, top 20?
Sure, yeah.
So I guess where does Junior go from here, in your opinion?
It's up to him. He can retire if he wants, or he can have another, fight like this. Fight a YouTuber or something. Yeah.
Adding to the growing wave of support, Jose Benavidez, senior father and trainer of David. Benavidez voiced strong approval of Jake Paul's performance after watching him defeat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Benavidez Sr. said Jake looked really good and even proposed a potential future matchup between Jake Paul and his own son, David Benavidez. He emphasized that Jake now deserves a shot at a world title. Coming from someone who has trained elite-level talent, this statement marks a significant shift in how professionals perceive Jake not merely as an entertainer, but as a legitimate contender in the sport.
I think Jake Paul looked really good. I think he won all the rounds. I mean, it's good for boxing. I think he deserves a chance to fight for a world title. He proved it today with the ex-world champion, Julio Cesar Chavez, that, he dominated and he did really good.
What did you think of Chavez's performance? Early on, he didn't throw a lot, and then towards the end, he had some moments. Were you disappointed in Chavez?
Well, I thought, he was going to try to get Jake Paul a little tired. He was blocking and taking all his shots. but I think he just got tired, and couldn't execute it. So Jake Paul did a great job.
Adding to the growing wave of support, Jose Benavidez, senior father and trainer of David, Benavidez voiced strong approval of Jake Paul's performance after watching him defeat. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Benavidez Sr. said Jake looked really good and even proposed a potential future matchup between Jake Paul and his own son, David Benavidez. He emphasized that Jake now deserves a shot at a world title. Coming from someone who has trained elite-level talent, this statement marks a significant shift in how professionals perceive Jake not merely as an entertainer, but as a legitimate contender in the sport.
I looked at Jake. I was saying, thank you, Jake. Yep, I was saying, thank you, Jake. A lot. The thing is, not to say that because he beat a 6-year-old Mike Tyson that, that impressed me with. What I'm saying is, you couldn't really see everything that Jake possessed in that fight. He has gotten way better. I saw him training, and I'm like, the guy is good. He messed around and got good. You don't like Zurdo fight? Zurdo looked. I mean, that was one of the best I've seen, but best times I've seen him. No, Zurdo won this clear to me. Don't forget, that was a point deduction. We're on 15, 113. I mean, 113, 112. 117, 110. Yeah, it was clearly Zurdo. Yeah, it was clearly Zurdo, bro. I mean, Zurdo was making a miss. And Zurdo was really, I was impressed by his defense.
Footage of ringside reactions captured just how one-sided the bout felt. Jake Paul dominated from the early rounds, while Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. struggled to mount any meaningful offense. In fact, seen in widely circulated clips online, Julio barely threw any significant punches. Jake's footwork, jab control, and physical conditioning kept him ahead throughout the match. Observers noted that Jake not only outworked Julio, but also displayed the poise of someone who knew exactly what he came to do. The fight wasn't just won physically, it was won mentally, and Jake remained in control the entire time.
Jake Paul has defeated Chavez Jr., right? This fight, Chavez got active in them last 3 rounds and he really showed his power. But throughout most of the fight and throughout those first 5 or 6 rounds, right, most of us were saying, is Chavez here to fight or not? Because he was not throwing very much at all. And then you thought maybe the strategy is let Jake Paul get tired because he's not used to going 10 rounds. And then maybe in those last couple rounds you could get him. But Jake Paul did get fatigued down the stretch, but he still held on. He looked well even in the final 3 rounds when Chavez was pouring it on enough to get over the top. I'd say it's impressive considering Chavez Jr. is a former champion. For Jake Paul, probably going to get a title shot soon. My question to y'all is, what did y'all think of the fight? When Chavez first came out, man, I'm like, he's not throwing. Jake Paul looked really active. I go, when is Chavez going to throw? Then Chavez began to throw, and you thought maybe the strategy is let Jake Paul get tired and then try to beat him down the stretch, right? Which I think that was the strategy. But Paul proven to hang on, and Chavez goes down in this one. So guys, what do y'all think about the fight? What do you think about Jake Paul's performance, and can he get a title shot?
At the post-fight press conference, Jake Paul spoke with the same confidence he had displayed in the ring. He showed respect to Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., calling him a tough opponent and praising the proud Mexican fighting spirit. However, Jake didn't hold back when addressing the critics who had doubted him. Many had questioned his durability and his chin, but Jake proved them wrong. Actions speak louder than words, he stated firmly, sending a clear message to those who predicted he wouldn't last. For Jake, this win wasn't just about silencing the noise, it was personal. He wanted to prove that his development as a boxer is genuine and that he's far more than just a celebrity chasing clout. This fight marked a pivotal moment in his journey, leaving no doubt that he deserves a place in serious boxing discussions. Jake walked away with more than just a win. He walked away with validation.
It's between you and Cesar Chavez Jr. tonight. Now, in round 9, the heat really turned up Did you feel the Mexican power that he promised, or do you feel like he didn't perform the way you thought that he would?
No, yeah, he brought a hard fight there at the end, and that's that Mexican warrior style. I don't know how he was eating all those punches, to be honest. My hands low-key hurt from his face, and so respect to him. He had good cardio, and he came on strong at the end. He's a very, very strong guy, had a lot of power, but people underestimate my chin and my ability and my toughness.
Jake, Jonathan Agger of Pro Boxing Fans. During the week, you had a viral interview with Piers Morgan where he said that he didn't think that you would beat Chavez. He felt like when you fight a former world champion, you'll come unstuck. What did you prove to not only him but other people that have criticised you?
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, actions speak louder than words, so people can sit behind their desks and sit on their TV shows and say a lot of things about my career, but everyone's tuning in, everyone's watching, and I just continue to win.
And you mentioned Anthony Joshua. Does it end there? Would you want to bring Tyson Fury out of retirement?
Man, there's too many people for me to fight. I need more time. At the end of the day, that's the only thing I can't do is create more time. So we'll see what happens.
After Jake Paul's impressive victory over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Piers Morgan's earlier skepticism was brought into the spotlight. Prior to the fight, Piers had expressed doubts about Jake's boxing credibility, noting that he had yet to face a truly battle-tested professional in his prime. He questioned whether Jake's rise was more about spectacle than skill. But Jake, unfazed by the criticism, stayed confident throughout the build-up, insisting that names and reputations don't matter. Performance does. Himself. And he delivered on that promise in dominant fashion. The fight highlighted not only Jake's physical growth, but also his mental resilience and strategic discipline. By defeating a seasoned veteran like Chavez Jr., Jake sent a powerful message to fans, analysts, and doubters alike. His performance made one thing clear. He's not just stepping into the ring for hype, he's there to truly compete. For critics like Piers, the results spoke louder than words.
Shit. YouTube this, YouTube that, Disney that. This shit is not a joke. I'm knocking out the best of the best, beating all of these people time in and time again. And it's about time that you old heads and all these fucking boxers who think they know about the sport put some respect on my name.
Yeah, but you're not going to look, you're going to make a ton of money. Listen, I think as a businessman, you are brilliant, right? I give you full credit for that. When you took on Mike Tyson as a business enterprise, there's no argument. You absolutely crushed the numbers, crushed the money and everything else. But the idea that you can say on the one hand, I'm a killer, I get in the ring with the best people, and you get in the ring with a guy who's 50, he's literally nearly as old as me.
I'm not talking about Mike Tyson. I'm talking about Anderson Silva, Tyrone Woodley, champions in their sport, Golden Gloves champions, Ryan Borland, Andre August, undefeated fighters. The list goes on and on.
What great boxer have you been in the ring with?
Former world champion on Saturday, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., son of the greatest Mexican fighter of all time, besides me, of course. Like, I don't know what you guys want to see. I tried to fight Canelo. He ducked out of it. You asked him about that. You said he's going to kill me. So what do you want, Piers? You're laughing when you say, oh, Jake is going to fight Canelo. I think you would kill him. But then you're like, oh, you're not fighting this guy. You're the problem here with this whole situation and criticism of my career. I'm trying to fight the best people, and that's why Chavez is here on Saturday. I want Canelo. I want Anthony Joshua. I want all these people. It's been 5 years in this sport.
But the problem is the only proper boxer you fought was Tommy Fury, and he beat you. And he's not even the best. He's not even the best fighter in his family.
Golden Gloves champion Andre August, Brian Borland as well. Anderson Silva was an undefeated boxer. I mean, you can sit there and make up shit, but you actually don't know your facts. I fought multiple boxers with professional records, and including Mike Tyson himself, who I think is going to be a harder fight than Chavez.
Tony Jeffries openly praised Jake Paul's dedication and the serious approach he brought to the sport ahead of his fight with Julio Cesar Chavez. Jr., he highlighted Jake's ability to surround himself with elite trainers, top-tier nutritionists, and high-end training facilities as a major factor in his development. Jeffries emphasized that this wasn't just about money, it was about commitment. He noted that Jake had created the kind of environment professional fighters depend on, that on which allowed him to improve at a rapid pace. In Jeffries' view, Jake's focus and structured preparation showed he's treating boxing with the seriousness it demands. The results spoke for themselves. For more updates and insights on boxing, stay tuned and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Champ Fight.